We're back the second half hour with more stories. Thanks for sticking with us. I'm Jacqueline Fernandez.
And I'm Erin Sullivan. We begin with a motorcycle crash in Millard where one man is dead and a woman is fighting for her life. First Alert 6's Brenna Kiefner joins us live in the studio. Brenna, what are authorities telling us about this crash?
Yeah, Jacqueline and Aaron, Omaha police say the crash happened around 2 this morning near 134th and Industrial Road. Officers found a 44-year-old man dead and a 26-year-old woman in a ditch. She was taken to the hospital, but just in the past couple of hours, police confirmed that no helmets were being worn. While they investigate the exact cause of this specific crash, it serves as a sobering reminder of the risks associated with motorcycle riding. But we're taking a broader picture of rider safety. UNMC data reveals a significant trend, a 110% increase in motorcyclists treated at trauma centers since Nebraska repealed its helmet law back in 2024. During that same period, the percentage of riders not wearing helmets surged from 20% to 64%. A UNMC trauma surgeon offered a general perspective on rider precautions, strongly emphasizing the critical importance of safety measures.
I think motorcyclists are aware of the inherent risk. And so our encouragement would be, for you and your passenger, wear a helmet because, the chances of you either dying or being gravely disabled are pretty high.
Now, the Motorcycle Safety Foundation provides a few general guidelines for motorcyclists and drivers. For motorcyclists, remember to be visible and dress for your safety. And for drivers, you're reminded motorcycles may look farther away than they actually are because of their smaller size. And you should also take an extra moment to look for them before changing lanes or turning at an intersection. In the studio, Brenna Kiefner, First Alert 6.
Brenna, thanks for those reminders.